Are you looking to take your life and career to the next level? I believe in order to reach the next level of success, it's essential to embrace change and be true to who you are. Growing up, I learned to embrace change when I moved from Hong Kong to Canada. I struggled to fit in. It wasn't easy, but I became resilient, resourceful, and responsible with the life I wanted to create. I realized that embracing my uniqueness with confidence was key to making multiple career changes at top companies like Google. To stand out, I learned to be outstanding. From being a marketer to a management consultant to a recruiter. When I had my kids, my priorities and definition of success changed. Each transition gave me greater clarity about what's important to me, what I wanted, and who I am. I'm Diana Y.K. Chan. I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach. I help you design the next chapter of your life and navigate transformational changes in your career by redefining what success means to you and differentiating your brand value. Since making my own career change, I've delivered speaking and training engagements to thousands of people. And I've coached clients one-on-one globally, from students to C-level, in changing careers, landing incredible opportunities, and increasing their income. When we pursue our passion that's aligned with our purpose and create meaning in our lives, we thrive and feel more fulfilled. My mission is to empower you to own your greatness with confidence so that you do amazing things and make a remarkable impact in this world. Well, hello and welcome to the Dare to Differentiate live show. The purpose of the show is to help you rise up, raise your standards, and to reach the next level. Whether you're tuning in live or watching the replay, I am so delighted and grateful that you're here. Guys, today is my 10 years in business and I am celebrating today. I am so excited for you guys to be here. If you're here, please comment. Let me know. Say hello. Tell me where you're from. Where are you watching from? Is it on YouTube or is it on LinkedIn? I want to hear from you. Today is a very special episode as this is my first time ever where I am peeling back the curtain to share with you my 10-year entrepreneur journey, to share with you my key lessons learned, why I do what I do. I'm also going to have some of my friends here to celebrate with me as well. I'm going to give some shout outs, and I'm also going to bring some of my audience live to ask me questions as well. So today's a very special edition. I have a little champagne glass here to celebrate, although it's water, it's still early. We'll be celebrating more tonight. But thank you so much for being here, guys. I see a lot of you commenting. I am so excited to be here. So for those who don't know me, I'm Diana Y.K. Chan. I'm the founder of My Markability. And I help ambitious professionals, leaders, and executives to find a meaningful career, navigate change, and differentiate as top talent to get hired and earn more. So I can't wait to share with you guys today. So just to share I'm just so excited right now. My heart is pumping and beating. I feel like I'm going to cry today as well. Hi, Kamara. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Shaq, Angela. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Seema. Oh my God, my dear friends are all here. I'm so excited. So I'm going to dive right in. There's so much to talk about, and it's going to be a jam-packed show today here. But I want to just, first of all, thank you for your love and support. Make sure to click like, give me some happy emojis as well. I love to raise that vibrational energy up there. So I'm going to walk you through today my why, and then I'll walk you through some of my journey, and then I'll bring some guests on, and bulk of my talk would be on the lessons learned there. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hey, Mina. So great to see you guys. Thank you so much for your support. I can't wait to bring you guys live. I love that, missing the interaction here. Okay. So I founded my business in January 2011, and it actually happened about 7, 8 months sooner than I planned because I lost my job, and it was just right 2 months before my wedding. So I decided to start my business to really help people to own their greatness with confidence so that they can shine and make a remarkable impact in this world. This is really my story. And I think it's because, growing up, I wasn't really confident. I didn't really believe in myself. And so when I decided to start my businesses, my mission was all about helping people elevate their game so that they can do amazing things in this world. So if you guys saw that video that I shared earlier, that was really my story and mission. It was created about 2 years ago in Mexico when I was on a women's luxury retreat. And it really sums up of who I am and what I stand for. In terms of why I started my business, there were a few key reasons. Number one, the main reason was really for more joy and fulfillment. I knew that I always want to be in a profession or career that was related to helping people. And even though I did work in corporate around like training, development, I knew I really wanted to have more of that one-on-one interaction, the facilitation type of work. So this is why I really decided to start my business. And I can tell the last 10 years, I've helped like thousands of people, and nothing gives me more joy than just seeing people. It's not just about landing a job, but them seeing them more confident, believing in themselves, giving them the hope that they can really dream bigger, to really follow their passion. That's what's fulfilling to me. I love it when just seeing people, like it's like afterwards, after effect of after getting a job, where they continue to go after bigger dreams, doing bigger things, making a bigger impact. That's what lifts me up. Okay. So that's the number one reason why I decided to start my business, is really for the fulfillment piece. So hi, Jess. Oh, so great to see you guys here. Oh my God. Some of my friends are here today. You guys are making me cry here. Second reason why I started my business, really, I have a huge value for freedom and flexibility. Time freedom, money freedom, and, but building my own business really gives me that freedom to, work wherever I want as well, and have the flexibility to create my own schedule. So that's really a big reason why I decided to do that. And then lastly is really for family. I have to tell you, like, I wasn't sure about having kids, and it took me a while to really, to even be able to, I guess, decide that I wanted to have kids. And I think the main reason is because like I felt that I wouldn't be a good parent, and because I grew up didn't have like a happy childhood. And so the reason why I decided to start my business was having the balance, the family as well, having that flexibility so that I could also be there for my kids. So these are really the reasons of why I decided to start my business there. And I want to share with you some of my guiding principles. Some of you often ask me, like, how do I go about planning or deciding things? And I have some of my guiding principles of what I live by that guide my decisions, and which is, the acronym of my name, Diana. The first one is the D, which is dare to differentiate yourself. And this is what the business I'm in. It's all about helping people to differentiate, to stand out, to reach their full potential. It's all about that. Oh my God, I'm seeing all these chats here. Hey, Saritu. Oh my God, I'm so happy to see you guys. I know this is like a different episode. My heart is beating so fast right now. So the second one is the I. It's all about inspiring others to dream big. I'm big on inspiring people. I know when we surround ourselves with, people who have that big goals and big dreams, that we just elevate each other, and we elevate, our community and the world here. The third is the A, acting in spite of fear, right? There's always going to be times where you're going to be scared of doing things. And I think this is a big one. Like, I've constantly stretched my comfort zone to do things that I've never done before, and just act in spite of fear. That's a big principle of mine. Next one is the N, never giving up. Just keep on pushing even when things were tough. And lastly is achieving excellence, which is a big, core, guiding principle of mine. Like, everything I do, I want to be the best, and to really elevate my game there. So those are my guiding principles there. Yes. Awesome. All right, so moving forward, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my journey before I bring on some of my guests here there. So I decided to break down my 3 phases of my journey. When I think back the last 10 years, there's what I call the phase 1, which is like the pre-kids, from the first 4 years in my business, which I call it the building and growing phase, right? So this is like that initial phase there. And I'm curious to hear from you guys. Any of you are in your own business? Are you starting your business or thinking about business? I'm curious to know what phase you're in and what are you curious about. But I remember when I first started, you just have so many ideas and inspiration. And I can share with you guys, I actually brought some here today at the very beginning phase. I created like all these different business cards. This was my first business card when I first started, like when I first got laid off. This was like my first business card. I printed like 5,000 of them. So much text, too much text here. I can't believe I found this. And then this was like my second version of it, which is like much cleaner version there. And then I decided to use like Boo.com business cards, which had like motivational quotes on it. So it was just so fun in terms of that initial phase of just creating and brainstorming, coming up with marks as well. I just love that. It was just so much fun. Even like, I'll show you guys this too. Like some of these postcards, I'm huge on branding of having these postcards here. That's what really I did the initial years was creating, being that creative mode. So for those who are starting, give yourself, that space and time to create. I would say once I got really busy in my business, I wasn't as much creative anymore because I didn't have much time and space there. So anyhow, after, I started at 2011, I actually started speaking first instead of coaching because I was working full-time at Google. And so I started speaking that year, doing tons of speaking engagements that year, talking to at different schools, different professional associations. That's how I really got started there. And then after a year at Google recruiting, that really helped me propel my business in terms of direction. A lot of people came to me for career advice, job search help, how to really stand out as top talent. So that was really my brand. So I remember when I first started, I created my own website, which was so embarrassing, I have to say. And then in 2012, I hired a student to help me create my website. And in 2013, that's when I really went bigger, where I invested in Marie Forleo's B School to learn how to create a proper website. And that was 2013. And that was a huge branding exercise there. And then fast forward 2013, I guess 2 years in my business, I hired interns. That year, I decided to do my own TED Talks where I would go around different universities here in Canada, like all the top universities. And I would have like my signature an hour and a half talk, which was how to differentiate as top talent. And I would share with people the framework. So I would speak to like hundreds of students across, here in Canada. And through that, I brought on like 9 or 10 interns that summer. And from there, I found 2 great top talent interns that I kept. One was my writer, and second was my designer, who eventually I brought them on throughout the year to help me. And that following year, 2014, was a huge year for me because I hired my writer full-time that summer. And that was when I wrote my book, when I created 6 courses, when I also decided to create my CRM system, like the back end of things to set things up more properly, going from like e-transfer payments to accepting like credit card payments, just really setting things up there. So that was a huge year. I felt like that year was a year where things really took off. Like that was a year when I really grew my business to like a $250,000 business there. And then fast forward 2015, which was before I had my first child that year. I decided, because I was like, okay, I'm going to have to, have my first child here. I'm going to need to get organized, prepare. So that's when I actually really recorded all these 6 online courses and created a whole new website, rebranded, new membership site. And I brought my friend Intada on board, which you'll see her shortly here. I'm going to give a special shout out to her to really help me set that up for that year there. So that's like phase 1. Let me move into phase 2 here. Phase 2 was the sustaining optimizing phase. Like this was a phase where, kids, I have two kids, 2 boys, 2015, 2017. So I call that sustaining optimizing phase. This was the time where I really needed outsource help. This is when I hired, my VAs, virtual assistants in Philippines, running like webinars, doing things on a bigger scale. Doing like a group coaching program. I got really diligent with even putting together like email funnels, customer journey mapping. My husband really helped me out with that as well, because the reality was just the time, in terms of less time or less availability to be in my business. I had to, really focus on taking care of my kids. How can I be more efficient and still be producing at that level that I've been producing at there. So that was a year about all the optimizing. And I have to say, when I had my second child, it was really tough because my I had two kids under 2 at that time. I actually went through like postpartum depression. It was one of the toughest time in my year, but I really try to streamline things during the time in my business. I put together, a combo service, like writing service and coaching service, which you'll see my friend Kamara later on, where we like partnered up as well to really tailor to my audience needs and doing like group coaching. And then 2019, this was just like less than 2 years ago. And I think because I went through so much in my business and having 2 kids, I did actually have some doubt in terms of whether I wanted to continue to do this. And so I took on a full-time gig at a school to become a career advisor. I felt part of it was also just to validate my own skills and my knowledge and expertise. And I did that for 6 months, but I actually got so sick because I guess it was too much in terms of juggling kids, business, and this full-time gig for the contract that it was a great realization that I meant to run my business full-time. That's what I really wanted to do. So that was a year of sustaining optimizing phase. Phase 3, which is really recent, I would say last year since the pandemic, I'm really in this phase now, what I call innovating and scaling phase. So last year since the pandemic, I basically could start creating like new services and products. So created like smaller training sessions, online courses, events, workshops for people. That's what I created. New trainings, new website. I basically did a whole big project. My husband really helped me. Like this was last year in April. I remember it was Easter. We decided to migrate my entire CRM system to a new platform called Kartra, which is what I run on right now for my entire business, my website, my email management platform, my online payment platform is all on that. And what's been amazing is since doing that, I've been able to make changes a lot quicker because I moved to a much more user-friendly platform there. And so that's been a huge game changer for me. And I'm really excited now for what's to come this year. My word is about transformation. So really taking things to the next level. So I'm excited. I want to welcome you, my friend here next. I want to give some shout outs here to give you an idea. This was my journey. And I want to let you know, like, I didn't do it alone. Even though I'm in this solopreneur business, but I really believe you have to surround yourself with good people in order to thrive and grow. So I really want to give some special shout outs to some people in my life that are really important to me. And I'm going to bring on my friend Indida on board. She's one of my dear friends. I'm going to bring her on. Hi,
Hello. How are you?
Good. Oh my God, I'm so glad I'm doing this because I'm celebrating my 10 years. It's kind of weird for me just to talk by myself. I'm like, bring on my friends, right? So
Congratulations. I wish I had confettis everywhere to like, woo, throw it out.
I know, right? The best I can do is have a little champagne glass here right now. But I just want to say, I want to put a special shout out here is you have played such an important role in my life and my business. Like to give some context for the audience, I've met you over 10 years ago at work. And 2015, was it 2015 when I got pregnant, you also made a big decision to leave corporate to come help me out basically full time that summer to really help set my business up. So I just want to tell you how much you mean to me. I'm getting emotional.
Thank you. You mean a lot to me too, my dear. You've come such a long way. I couldn't be more proud. This woman is killing it, slaying it, on fire. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I've seen you grow from like starting off to, trying to make it with baby number 1, then baby number 2. And it's just so inspiring, I think, for all of us to see, and also so rewarding to see you really feel your calling and make a difference in everyone's lives. So you should be
thank
really
you so
proud
much.
of yourself.
Thank you so much. But thank you. But I have to say, I have to let the audience know one thing that you helped me so much is really, I trusted you so much that, you helped me rebrand in my website, create a new logo, create these 6 online courses. By the way, for those my clients are here, if you're wondering who the voice is behind the videos recording, it's my friend Indida. And it's because when I was pregnant, I was breathing heavily. I couldn't really record my voice. So my dear friend, help me record all this training. And we locked ourselves up in an office
We
that
still have
summer.
pictures of that where we are like locking ourselves up.
Right? It was so crazy that we did that, and I remember, I was still editing videos when I went into labor, and then I had to just hand everything to you to take care of,
Yeah,
and once I had baby, you pretty much, like, took over my business to coach my clients for that first 2 or 3 months. I think you coach at least 20, 30 clients of mine at that time, so I wanna thank you. Thank you for keeping my business running and also, continue to grow my business. So you played such an important role, in my business there,
it's
so
just an
thank you.
honor to be here. And like just see you as my friend, as a professional, as a mom, as growing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It means a lot, Diana. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
and
for
thank you for
trusting me.
and thank you for continuing to just elevating that we both, like, wanna
Yes,
continue to dream big, to do amazing things in this world here.
absolutely. Love you. Have
Love you
fun for the
too.
rest
You
of the
take
day.
care.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, so that's my friend Intara. I don't get to see her that often as she lives in a different city, but she plays a very pivotal role in my life. So next, I'm gonna have my friend Kamara here. Kamara. Oh, Kamara.
Hi. So sorry. I was just picking up an iPad that was playing music.
How are you? Is
I'm
baby
good.
awake?
He is. He's just very busy at the moment, all over the place. So
Oh, well, thank you so much for being here.
thank you for having me.
I really want to thank you. I think back, I think about my business and how we met. Like, we met at an event and we really clicked and decided to support each other because we have really complementary skills. You're a
That's right.
writer, I'm a speaker, I do interview coaching, and over the years, I just so appreciate how we refer each other business and how we've been able to collaborate in our business as well to really help our clients. At the end of the day, it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Because we have different skill sets. And what I love about you is you speak your truth. You always challenge me as well, because I remember one time where you said that, guys,
Where I said what? Sorry, my
I'm too
internet's touch and go. Oh,
too nice. I thought I'm too nice.
mm,
And, I just love that you really also challenge me to be more confident in myself, be more assertive as well,
mhm.
and to really speak my truth, to own my truth. And and I love that you're always so good with just identifying like opportunities and just finding the right fit of people to connect us to as well. I really appreciate that about you.
Thank you. And just such a big congratulations on 10 years. Like I didn't know it was 10 years. I knew it was a while, but I didn't know it was like a full decade. And
Yeah.
I've had the absolute pleasure of watching you grow your business for probably the last 3 or 4 years. Sorry for the whining
No
in the
problem.
background. 3 or 4 years. And so I didn't get to see the early parts, but it's so nice with the content that you're sharing now, like seeing the glimpse into the early parts
Yeah.
and oops, sorry if my connection's touch and go, and seeing how you tied in your colors, your brand colors with your wedding. And it's just so awesome. And I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. It's the journey, right? It's the
For
journey
sure.
of we're all constantly evolving and constantly growing. And I look back like, I have so many iterations of on my website, my brand, even though it's the same color, but I've grown and mature as well.
Yes, definitely. It's even in the past few years, I've seen how your brand has evolved, and you're just, as Intada said, and it was so great to see Intada. As Intada said, you are absolutely killing it especially with these lives. I'm so excited about this because I love lives too, and you're just doing so great.
Oh,
So
thank you. You know
I'm
what?
so
I have to
happy.
say, you really inspired me to do a live is because I was on your show last year that you invited me, that you inspired me to do it once I got
Thank
access to it
you.
as well. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for that inspiration. And I look forward to continue like our friendship and collaborations.
Me too. It's been fantastic, and I'm so appreciative and grateful for you. And all the best as you continue to celebrate these 10 years. This is just incredible.
Thank you so much. You take care. Have a good
You
one.
too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right. So that was Kamara. My next up is I have my friend Melissa, who really challenged my thinking, my confidence as well. Like, we met at an event, and she invited me to her retreat in Hawaii 7 years ago. And she really challenged me to essentially get to like 5-figure a month. So I really want to thank her for that. I'm going to bring her on board here. Hi, Melissa.
Oh, I'm going bananas! I'm going bananas!
Oh, thank you so much for
like,
being here.
10 years. You're welcome. Mwah, congratulations. I wish I could be there right now to like squeeze you and literally be bananas with you. So hope real bananas work.
Oh, thank you. You're so fun. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. I really want to acknowledge, I said, like, I think you heard earlier, just you challenging me, like, to be more confident with myself and thinking big and just really ultimately being of service to the world,
Yes.
ultimately. And so when you challenge me to think bigger, I remember at an event back in California, right? Like when you go back, Brennan Burchard, that you're going to hit your 5-figure months, things change for me. So I really want to thank you. Like that was a game changer. I don't know what, something shifted for me in terms of how I show up. It was not like I offer something differently, but the way I presented myself, the way I talked about my value, how can I help people, really made a big difference. I really want to thank you for that and for believing in me as well.
Oh my goodness. Lala, you are the most worthy woman I have observed, had the pleasure of being with. Of course, the phone rings on my time to speak, of course, right? Like I didn't ring all morning. Anyways, point being is that I hope that you realize that what I did for you is actually what you continue to do for everyone you work with. And in my heart and in my soul, when we met, I knew we were soulmates, like of the womankind and of the business kind, because we had so many aligned values. We were both speaking. It was Bobby Umar's event, actually, a branding event in Toronto, Ontario. And I spotted you and you were radiating. Like you were this big ball of light. And of course, like we share Chinese culture as well. I'm half Chinese, half Portuguese. And I felt like you were my sister even before I spoke to you. And then ever since then, that's why I invited you to Hawaii, because you matched what we were doing. And I knew that I wanted to also be your friend as well, not just a collaborator, not just a fellow supporter of our entrepreneurial dreams.
Right.
And so you deserve this and more. So first of all, congratulations. Second of all, thank you for acknowledging what I did for you, which I think is so sweet that you're giving me credit for that, because all I was trying to do was give you credit in the dollar forms of what you're worth. Right? It's like, you go, girl, and go make that impact, because the more people can hear and actually, and this is what I believe about human nature, right? It's we don't, like, words don't teach. It's always role modeling. It's always actual leadership that teaches, and it's leadership that exemplifies what's actually possible for other people. So I wanted to say thank you as well, because during my business journey, you helped me so much. Like these lives, like Kamara just said, and by the way, shout out to Kamara and Inta, I love you, ladies. And I hope it's Emma Wayne, by the way, is after me. So much love in this call, because 10 years is a huge piece of longevity, sustainability. I mean, resilience is such a buzzword right now, but if you want to, whoever's watching this live, if you want to know the meaning and definition of resilience, you've got Diana here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And it's so true. Like you just reminded me, for me, when we elevate our own game, we elevate others as well. And that's what I've been seeing right now the last several years. Like I'm so proud of helping my clients not only land great jobs, but making more money and just being so much more confident about themselves. So thank you so much. Thank you. Well, have a wonderful day.
Oh, okay. Keep going bananas.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. So these are my friends who were able to join. And I just want to another few more shout outs here before I move on. As you can tell, for me, it's so important to surround myself with amazing people in my life to really elevate my game. So a few more people I really want to give shout outs to. Carson, who is my husband, he's amazing. He's my rock. Like he's a behind the scenes guy. He's really busy right now in meetings, but I have to give him a special shout out. Like since day one, he's the one who gave me the courage to start my business. I'm so emotional. When I felt like no one believed in me, he's like, just go do it. Like we'll be fine. Like worst case, if you don't make it, we'll be fine. So since then, he's just been really supportive in everything I do, like with my crazy dreams. He's always so supportive. Like even last year, with the summit, he basically took everything, the tech stuff in terms of the behind the scenes of setting everything up. Even right now, everything I'm doing, like he's really taking care of all the tech stuff for me. So I'm super grateful for him. We're complete opposite personalities. Like I'm the outgoing one. Like he prefers to be the behind the scenes, take care of the logistics, the tech. He's always challenging me to think from a very business perspective as well. Like he's the one who really taught me to how to structure my pricing, my programs, because he's in marketing and analytics, having like a 3-tier structure there. So really want to thank him for that. Another is Nicole. Nicole was my my full-time intern that I hired. She was amazing. I couldn't believe she was only first-year student when I hired her as my writer, but she pretty much helped me publish over 200 blog posts. I think we're close to like 300 before, I had my kids. Like she was amazing. She also helped me launch a new writing service where we launched like resume writing service, LinkedIn writing service. And I trusted her to even work with my executive level clients. She was the one who also helped me with writing the book as well. Like, we sat together that summer, like to briefly put together everything, which is why I was able to do it in that whole summer and create those courses. It's because having someone like her who's so talented and so reliable and professional as well at such a young age. And then Seema, you guys probably have met Seema at my summit last year. We pretty much started our business at the same time. So we share those ups and downs together. We would go to all these personal development events together to continue to dream big, to have fun. She's my go-to for anything that I want to create there. And then lastly, Emma is someone I met at the in the Maui, Hawaii retreat there, who's also a very dear friend of mine. She played a very pivotal role in my life when I had my second child. She actually, she actually came. I had her. She lived with me for a couple of months there, and when I had postpartum depression, she was the one who really coached me through the dark times to help me get out of it. So she played a pivotal role in the sense of really my emotional well-being and to really help me get back into my game. So these are some special people in my life that I really want to give my shout outs to there. So I hope my takeaway here is if you're looking to dream big or go after your dream, surround yourself with good people. We don't do it alone. And this is why I'm huge on collaboration and meeting amazing people there. All right, so let's move on to some lessons learned here. So if you guys know me, I love to, give like lessons or my top 10 tips. So I have like 10 lessons that I want to share with you guys. Feel free to take notes. I'll be asking you at the end, like, what lessons resonate with you as well. So let me share with you some lessons. So lesson number 1 that I've learned as an entrepreneur is really the passion and purpose. For me, I really believe that you have to really fall in love with your business in order to really continue to grow and to elevate and to really become the best that you can be. So to me, that's number 1, like, falling in love with your own business, find your own meaning, like what's really meaningful for you, right? Like for me, I know I'm living my calling. I know it when, I see my clients shine, when they win, when they lit up. I know this is my true calling. So find whatever that's meaningful for you. I remember when I first started, I doubted myself. I'm like, should I actually be starting like more like a software business? I saw people running in the career space where they were doing like creating a software. And, that people are able to scale. But then like, that's not me. I'm in the people business. I'm not in the software business. So continue to find what that is meaningful for you there. And to be client-centric. So pretty much everything I do, I'm always thinking about my clients. I think about their challenges, their struggles. And that's how, it helps me putting together content, my courses, my training, is because I'm really putting myself in their shoes of the journey that they're going through and what are the common questions that people are asking me and how can I make it look better for them there. Right. So that's really my lesson number 1. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I really believe when I get on calls with people, it's really just having that curious mindset of really getting to know them, understand them before really all about like pitching there. So that's lesson 1. Lesson number 2 is personal branding. So you guys know I'm really big on personal branding, and I really believe that personal branding is a great way to help you differentiate, to stand out. Whether you're starting your business or you are in a job, personal branding is so crucial. So you really need to take the time to know yourself and your reputation. Like, what are you known for? And you got to really own it. I would say for me, the last 10 years, I've been pretty consistent with my brand and voice. So what I stand for. I actually created a word cloud even recently because I'm in this rebranding phase right now, the new decade. I put together a new word cloud of words that describe my brand and my business brand. I have my own brand and my business brand as well, and define that similarities, consistency. So I'm all about empowerment, inspiration, motivation, positivity. And the way I communicate, I like things to be simple, step by step, to the point. That's just my style there. So find your own voice and style, as you're going to find your tribe and your audience there. Okay. That this is like a big part of mine. I'll show you. Actually, I have these two, my motivational cards that I created. This one was my motivation markability creed of motivational quotes that I created. I gave it out to my clients back then. And another one is like career fulfillment that I created back in 2011. Yeah, 2012. This is like almost 10 years ago, my career fulfillment. And that really aligns to my brand. I used to give out these, what I call my tips cards. I have like 10 of these cards I'll show you guys, and they're all branded. It has like my framework of what I teach, my Magnify Your Marketability framework. And I'll have like motivational quotes as well. And I created like a deck of these 10 cards on like tips for networking, resume, LinkedIn, job search, personal branding, interview questions. I created a deck of cards, and I would give them out when I used, would speak in person to universities. I would create hundreds of these and I would give them out. And that's a great way to build your brand, but also you're giving value, right? You're giving something of value that people like. It's nice and pretty, but something that it's pocket size that they can hold on to as well. Lesson number 3 is around people. This is huge. I'm in the business of, the people business, is getting really clear of knowing and working with your ideal clients. I think this is so important. Especially when you're starting out, it's, especially in the career coaching space, there's so many coaches out there, but who are your ideal clients, and what do they care about? What are their pain points? What are their goals? When I first started out, I worked with more a younger audience. I worked with students, new grads, more junior level positions. I think that's just where I started, because I was getting a lot of invites for speaking engagements. So naturally, I had a younger audience where, I talked to a lot of students at universities. And over the last 5 years or so, and I think because my audience has been growing as well, like I have clients who rehired me now, after they got their first job and want to get promoted to manager level or the director level, they rehired me and started referring me to other clients as well. So the last 5 years, I've worked with more senior level clients at the director level, VP level, SVP level, and even the C level there. And I have found that I enjoy working more with the mid to senior level clients. And it's because for me, I like to, deal with more complex situations and tasks. I love strategizing. That's something I love doing, is strategizing people's career moves, strategizing their networking conversations, really helping people anticipate ahead. And I know a lot of my senior level clients really value that there, versus just going through tips on resume or LinkedIn. So that's why I've been really focused more on the mid to senior level clients there. Second point here is around hiring the right people. To grow, you definitely need to hire help, and it's not easy to find the right people. I would say, you really need to know your criteria of, first of all, what kind of your ideal person you're looking for, and what are you really looking for them to do. I have a virtual assistant in the Philippines, and what I found worked really well is be very, very clear and specific on my task. And I like to break things down into projects and milestones and then task, so that each task is just literally one task of what they're supposed to do, what they're deliver, and have deadlines. I found that worked really well when you can find those right people that they can really deliver what you're looking for there. Last piece here is around collaborating with great people. So you saw, the people I brought on board. It's so important. Find your tribe, find the people that you love, that you adore and respect, and collaborate them, because that's how you also uncover new opportunities as well. And I love last year when I ran the summit, where I was able to bring on 20 experts to come on board. I met a lot of new friends and a lot of new coaches now. I see here, for example, Eva, I just met last year as well, because of the summit. A lot of new coaches like Jennifer, as because of these new things I'm doing, where I'm building my network as well. So yeah, collaborating is key. Always be connecting, curious, and cultivating. Lesson number 4. is programs and pricing. So this is a big one. I know when I did the survey, a lot of you guys indicated marketing or business planning is something you want to learn more about. So I'll talk a little bit about in terms of programs and pricing, which is really essentially it's your offering, your product offering. What do you offer? I believe it is so important to have a signature program. So something that is uniquely to you, right? Even though, let's say, other coaches could be teaching the same thing, but having your own model, your own framework, and your process is what's really going to differentiate you, right? So for me, my signature framework is called the Magnify Your Marketplace Framework. And I have my Ds: discover your essence, defining your brand, develop your marketing collateral, develop your marketing strategy, and deliver your message. And so throughout that framework, this is where I walk clients through from career clarity to branding to optimizing their marketing documents to networking and interview prep. So just having your own methodology is what's going to make you stand out and also increase the perceived value, and also for clients to see that you can really walk them through the entire journey there. Second is create offerings based on needs. So even though I'm a creative, I come up with a lot of ideas. I'm also really thinking about what people are saying or asking as well. So for example, last year when the pandemic hit, I actually surveyed my audience who attended my webinar, like, what would you like to learn more about? And the common thing that came out was people wanted more networking opportunities because they felt disconnected in a virtual world. So as a result, I created a very low price, affordable offering, $20 networking event where not only they came to network, but I also taught them where they came to learn how to share their story, their elevator pitch. And people loved it. I would send them the pre-training material so that they can be prepared and have 3 rounds of networking. And I believe that was something really unique to me. Like I didn't really see people do it. Like there were networking events, but not a lot of people do training with networking. So that was something based on what my audience was telling me that I could create. Another one was people wanted feedback on their resumes and LinkedIn profile. So I created a workshop where I reviewed people's resumes and LinkedIn. And it was like sold out in a week. It was very affordable. But I realized it took a lot of my time and energy as well. Like I think it was like 25 people came, but I actually had to spend more than the 3 hours I dedicated to do it and reviewing. So it took him a lot of my time. So I didn't run it again because from a timing standpoint, whereas the networking events were a really good one because it's highly interactive and people really, saw the benefits of that right away. The next piece here is price according to value, experience, and results. I know this is a big one. We can all talk about pricing, but something I've learned, and over the years, like I've always created programs. So meaning instead of offering just something on an hourly basis, I always look at it as a whole package because then you're really providing more value. So the way if you look at like my program offering, my signature one-on-one offering that I've been doing the last decade, and I've tweaked it along the way, but I've always had like a 3-tier model. This is what my husband taught me: low, medium, high, and it's like a bell curve. Most people will end up in the middle there, most people. So you offer a program essentially that not only have like the one-on-one coaching hours, but I have like my coaching courses, email support. I do some behind the scenes research work for my clients as well. And that will also then, you have like different buckets or different packages that will suit people's different needs there. Okay, so you want to price according to value, not just by your hourly rate there, and also by experience and your results. So I know for me, I have increased my prices over the years as well because I was getting clients better results. Like the last several years, I've been helping my clients getting like 20, 30, 50, 100K more or 200K more type of results. And it's incredible. And I know it's because of my experience and because I just know a lot more now. And as a result, I'm also able to increase my pricing. But what's really important here is you got to believe in your offer and your value, right? So going back to like, you can come up with this, but do you believe in it? And do you believe you can get those results for the clients? For me, I only take on clients I believe that I can really help them. I'm not going to if I don't believe I can help them, I'll tell them I'm not the right coach for them. I'll refer them to someone else. So it's so key to work with people who are your ideal clients that you get really excited about and that you can get them great results there. Lesson number 5 is really the pipeline. So this is really like the lead generation. Is this resonating with you guys? I just want to see here. If this is resonating, let me know as well. is around the pipeline. So this is around the lead generation. So how I think about it, and you probably heard a lot of these things as well if you're in your own business, is about building the email list. For me, I don't think I have like a huge list, but over the years, for me, it's more about the quality than the quantity there. And I did a huge cleanup of my email list last year when I switched my platforms there, really keeping a list of people who are really active. So what's been interesting for me, because I've been running events a lot more the last year, about 65% of the people on my list have attended one or more of my events. And so I have a much more active list because people have attended my events. I've noticed open rates are much higher as well. We're talking the difference between those who've attended my events, like a 40% open rate, versus those who have not attended my events are more like a 25% open rate there. So this is where like nurturing the leads and finding the right people is really important there. Offering those freebies, so like, the opt-ins, free training, checklists, those are good things to do. So I started now to really streamline my freebies as well, based on what people are really asking me or interested in. And so for me, I really in the space of this networking, branding, interview is really like that area of my niche. So I have a freebie on like interview prep. I have a freebie on like networking. Another one is like on discovery, like career clarity. It's another one a lot of people come to me for as well. I have a video training on that there. Okay. Rickman's like, this is helpful. Feels like a masterclass. Yeah, I'm spilling the beans. Give it all to you guys here. Another one, speaking and training. So the way I look at it is building a pipeline is it's like building a funnel, right? So when you do more speaking and training, you are going to one to many, like 1 to 100 or more. And I know from my experience, when I did the in-person speaking events, every time I spoke to at least 100 people, I would get new clients. So that was my number, the conversion rate. If I spoke to at least 100 people at an event, I would get at least, 3 to half a dozen of, it's not just leads, like actual clients who would hire me there. Okay. And so this is why I continue to do speaking and training. Another is referrals. Now, over the years, because I've been in business for 10 years now, what's been so fascinating the last several years is just getting more repeat business from my former clients. I have clients who've hired me like 3 or 4 or 5 times now. And then clients who then refer their colleagues or friends as well. So as an example, like I used to work at TELUS just for 3 years. It was over a decade ago now. But to this day, I still work with tons of people from the company I used to work at. I've worked with C-level executives, SVPs, VPs, directors, managers, individual contributors. And it's because of this network, I guess, of people that I've really nurtured relationships, the reputation that I've built, where I would get these referral business. And I know when you work with referral business, what's great is the close rate is much faster, right? So meaning, for those who are thinking about like referrals, pretty much they're sold. Like I just get on a call and pretty much they're sold. Whereas those who I've never met before, they found me through LinkedIn or Google, it's going to take some time to nurture. They're going to want to see some of my testimonials, my case studies, maybe talk to a potential client before they decide. That's just the nature because people don't know you yet and you need to nurture the relationship. I've had clients even last year, people I met who followed me for the last decade, basically. Like when I met last year, it's like, I've been following you since the beginning, who hired me for the first Pick My Brain session last year. But they've been following my work there. Okay. So yeah, that's lesson number 5 is building the pipeline. Yes, Eva said, I still need to get a list going. Free training is a great way to grow. Yes. Lesson number 6 is promoting and pitching. And so to me, this is like as an entrepreneur, for those who are coaches, we have to keep in mind that not only we're coaching, we need to be marketing and promoting and pitching as well. So if this is something you're not comfortable with, you definitely need to work on getting better at. So this includes like the content creation, the webinars, like the training, having client wins and case studies. I started doing more of those last year just because I noticed people were saying like, I saw that you posted this, therefore I wanted to reach out. So having that credibility case studies really help. I'm actually in the process and I'm starting to actually interview some of my clients like on video. Like, I don't know why I've never asked my clients to create videos. I guess some of my clients, I always thought they were just more private. I want to give them that privacy as well. But I'm starting to, interview clients now to talk about their successes and their wins to inspire others. Another big thing I've done a lot is consultation calls. I love it. I still do it to this day. So what it is a 15-minute consultation call to really assess the fit, assess the people's needs, what they're looking for, how can I help them, and then I follow up. When I first started out, I used to do like an hour consultation calls. And my husband, the analytical person, but like, you got to cut it down to half an hour. And eventually you got to cut down to 15 minutes because you got to be more efficient with your time there. So I don't do sample coaching. I just do consultation calls to assess needs. And that also gives me an opportunity to then share my offering and make a pitch as well. What I've learned over the years since, having kids is becoming more efficient. I used to have these email responses I would write. And now after I have a call, I would just click on a button to, indicate the program information I want sent to these potential clients. And they will get the program information, the FAQs, client case studies. It would be all in that email there. So a lot more efficient there. So this is where the follow-up emails come in, is always follow up. Something I really learned from another friend last year who's in sales. You got to follow up 7 to 8 times to close. And that is so true, right? If those who don't get back to you, and this is like, and for those, not only business, but you're looking for a job, you have to follow up to check in and offer value there to close, okay? Like I had, a couple of weeks ago, a client was looking to hire me and, said yes, but then didn't get back. And so I would follow up and check in and see if there's anything I could offer value or answer a few questions there to showcase that, this is how I can help them there. Okay. Yes, good time saving tip. I'm huge on time saving. Like I think there's a balance between automation, but also you still want to have a human connection. But if you know there are certain tasks that you repeat over and over again, for example, certain emails, you should definitely have a template and have it automated as well. That's going to save you tons of time and minimize any errors as well. Lesson number 7 is the planning and prioritizing. All right, so I've been getting a lot of questions from people like, how do you manage to do all these things when you also like coaching clients as well? Big part is you got to plan and prioritize. You have to treat your business as a business, not as a hobby. This is so important. So something I learned very beginning through Brandon Bouchard is that if you're really serious about growing your business, you have to treat it like a business, not just a hobby. You got to really put on that CEO business hat on as well and really think holistically of how to grow. Create project plans. So I use Asana to manage my projects. I break it down into pieces, milestones, and tasks. And that's how I get things done there. And then the other big one is setting boundaries. To me, this is all about protecting your time and energy. And I feel like right now, more than ever, because I'm starting to speak to a more global audience now, I'm noticing more people want my time and more people would just want to randomly book a call with me. So I actually now need to start to find a way where I probably need to, so do some sort of filtering or not have as many of these consultation calls anymore. Because, I noticed some people may not be looking, through my website, they just want to talk to me and pick my brain. And that's something I need to work on as well, setting those boundaries so that I'm really maximizing my productivity there. Optimizing schedule is also so key. So, for me, I have my coaching days and consultation call days. Last year, when the pandemic happened, I had everything in one day just because I didn't have enough time. I only had 2 hours in the morning when my mother-in-law would come over to take over the kids, where I'll do sales calls, and then 2 hours in the afternoon to do coaching. And then in between that, I would be looking after the kids there. And now that my kids are in daycare, I separate the days because I find that if I do everything all at once, my energy is depleted by end of the day. And I find that when I'm in coaching mode versus consultation call or pitch mode, it's a very different energy for me. So I separate that there. And then lastly is to delegate. Tasks. It's something I still need to get better at, even though I have a virtual assistant. I feel like I can do even better in delegating more effectively to repurpose content. I'm noticing right now I'm creating a lot more content now, like doing these long form type of videos. I'm looking for someone to help me now to create like micro clips, micro content there, right? So that I can repurpose my content. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So lesson number 8 is around processes. Some of you find this is like really dry processes. This is all about, how do you become more efficient and be able to essentially have a greater output by having processes. I got really serious about this after I had my first child, just because honestly, I had less time. That was a reality. Before kids, I would be working full-time hours, but after kids, reality, I was working only about 20-hour work weeks, 20, 25-hour work weeks. So with less time, how can you still produce that output there? In order to do that, you need to have your funnels. You need to understand the client journey. You need to have these canned responses written together. A little hack, I never shared this with anyone, but I have a text replacement shortcut key on my phone. I don't know if you guys have any of you heard of this, but I love it. It's on my phone. If you on my iPhone, it's essentially replace long text. So for example, a common one I use is people want to book a time. I have CAL. I'll type in CAL and it would have a whole sentence. Happy to set a consultation call. Please book a time at this link. And it would save me so much time. So I have these like shortcut keys on my phone of things I know I would repeatedly do that will save me time there. Another one is really around auto bookings and payments. So when I first started, it was the back and forth emails, like, what time are you free? Sure, I'll send you a calendar invite. That takes up so much time, right? So I got the scheduler with Calendly to book meetings, and it just saved me big chunks of time, avoiding any duplication, any errors as well. Automated sent my Zoom link. That's been a game changer. The other is around payments. When I first started, I would accept like e-transfer payments, and it was so hard to track, and I would have to follow it with people as well. But since accepting credit card payments, it was a game changer. And then also avoid the awkwardness of asking people to pay me. That was huge. Even though I know a lot of sometimes coaches like, well, I have to pay the 3% fee. But to me, that is worth it. If it's saving me time and headache to chase down people to make payments, it is so worth it, right? It's part of doing business there. So process is a huge one if you guys want to optimize your efficiency. Okay, so I'm almost wrapping up. I'll be bringing people on to ask questions here. I see some of you already joining already at backstage. So lesson number 9 is personal growth. So I'm really huge on investing in myself. I know from my experience, every time I invest in my own training, I elevate my game. As a result, I get better results in my business, meaning like I make more in my business, and I get my clients better results as well. So this is something, it's like my non-negotiable. If you talk to my husband, when I first started, this was like pre-business, I would sign up for like all these like trainings that I would want to go to. But since, I got really strategic, one thing he really challenged me is to really just pick one important thing you want to invest in this year or this quarter, and make sure essentially that you get your return on investment after it. So meaning if I spend $2,000 or $5,000, make sure I make that back or triple it or 10x it. And that's something he's challenged me, which is great because it helps me to stay focused. Because what I've seen and sometimes coaches do is that, I got to do all this training, do all this before I start my business. No, you just got to do, if you want to do one thing, learn about it and then go try it out, implement it, and then see what else you want to invest in so that you are maximizing your money as well there. Okay. And continue to raise your standards. So something for me, I'm constantly raising the bar in terms of the quality of the work, the training. Something I tell my husband too, is that a lot of my trainings, they're like new, like even though I've done it before, I'm always tweaking it, making it better every single time I deliver it so that I'm challenging myself. And to me, this big lesson is around progress over perfection. So even though I have high standards, I give myself timelines. Like even for this talk, I finished it on Wednesday, but because I had to take time off yesterday to look after my son who had dental surgery, I knew I wouldn't have time to do it. So I had to give myself a timeline to finish it, right? That intro video that you saw, I knew that was something I wanted. And so I just finished that as, best as possible and just be done with it. Okay. Progress over perfection. All right. Always strive for that continuous improvement. Okay. Lastly, lesson number 10 is platform. So this is all about the social media, right? Choosing your primary social media platform that really works for you. Where does your ideal client hang out? So for me, my primary is LinkedIn. And now I'm also focusing on YouTube because I'm doing more of these long form videos there. Choose what works for you. Some people like Instagram or Facebook, but find one that you like there. I really like LinkedIn just because that's really the professional network there. And then showing up consistently, that is key. I actually took a 10-month break from social media back when I had my second son, 2017, 2018 timeframe, just because my head was not in it. I took a 10-month break. And then I took on a 10-day video challenge where I created 10 videos over 10 days. And I love it because I was creating these 2-minute videos on my phone, on my iPhone. And that's how I got started. And since then, I've been creating content consistently, whether it's video or text. I love using quotes or images. That's just my style. So have your own style as well. Like I don't like just plain text. I like to have something that looks aesthetically like beautiful as well. That's just the branding side of me there. So find what works for you. Do you want to do long form texts or videos, whatever that works for you there. So, but strive to always add value. So what I'm also doing a lot more this year now is I used to do a lot of just like step-by-step tips, but something I'm really working on and stretching myself on this year is storytelling. So if you've been following me, you've probably seen I've been doing a lot more storytelling, like really sharing my own personal story and journey. And it's actually been liberating, like scary, but liberating as well, because it really gets you to like learn more about yourself and what's the message you're trying to tell your audience here in terms of what are you trying to empower or encourage here there. Okay, so those are my 10 lessons. I hope you guys found this helpful. I have like 4 of my friends backstage who are excited to come join me and ask some questions here. So I'm going to bring them on board. I'm going to do it one by one there. But I'm curious from the audience here, I want to ask you, which lessons resonated you with the most? I'm curious to know, like, out of these 10 lessons, what's something that you really want to work on improving there? Okay, feel free to type in. I see this in the chat. But I'm going to start to bring on my first guest, who I have is Anya. Hi.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to be here. And I love your enthusiasm. I love your energy. And I'm with you. I'm like, let's take a breath because I feel like I have 100 questions to ask. One thing in aha moment, I'm connecting. I'm like, oh my God. So our work, I've never seen it so aligned because you help people get hired and then I help them to stay in the role. Because once they're hired as a manager, director, they're like, what do I do now? And then we can help them like, okay, what do you do now? So that's one. Second, love you role model and celebrating wins. I think we don't do that enough. We're like, to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. So I'm so appreciative of all the support, your friends, and like really role modeling that leadership. So my question, I want to congratulate you. It's like astonishing the amount of content that you produce. And I know I like text you all the time, like, how do you do that? I'm also a mother of 3. We're homeschooling our kids and I'm so busy constantly like training or coaching, the actual work. So my question is, how do you structure your day with marketing? And I know you said a little bit about your sales call and your coach days, but it's like, do you write content in advance and then schedule it? Do you do it every day a little bit? Do you do it twice a day? What is your kind of like structure around like marketing and promoting? Because honestly, like I feel so behind when I look at you because I'm like, I'm busy doing the actual work. Like, no
I hear you.
In my day.
Yeah. So something I'm working on this year is I want to plan ahead more in terms of content. So what I'm doing this year more is I have theme weeks or theme months. So for example, like this week is I knew I was going to talk about my business. And so last week I would think about, okay, what do I want to share in terms of content? So I use like Friday afternoon, like this afternoon, like it's like my free day. I would plan out what do I really want to talk about next week. And then I would then map it out basically like Monday to Friday. What are some ideas? I don't have it all figured out yet, to be honest. I'm like, okay, these I can write about. And honestly, because I have such a busy schedule too, I usually don't write till the day of. I'm going to tell you this. I ideally want to batch it if you can, but I've been writing it the morning of, before I have my meetings or after I drop my kids. During my workout, I'll think about what I want to write, or during my lunch break. I'm like, okay, like I'm going to write this newsletter. What do I want to write? So I have a very clear idea of my messaging in terms of my flow with it. And I sit down and write. Now I have to tell you, for the longest time, writing has been a struggle for me because I'm more a speaker and English is not my first language. I had to get over that. And especially this year, I had to get over the limiting belief that I'm not a good storyteller because English is not my first language. I had to get over that belief in order for me to now be more open in writing. And so I think it's also just working on that. But also I think the other important thing is what's your commitment and rhythm, right? So even I didn't start really the daily thing until I would say last year. Like you can start with just once a week. Every Monday, every Wednesday, I'm going to do this, or maybe 2 days a week, right? Like one is a tip day, another's like a storytelling day. So figure that what that will look like first, and then add on. an
Because I feel
add-on.
like I witnessed you building your like community, right? This like almost like a movement behind you, all these people, and it's like, and I appreciate it. It is consistency, right? It is the messaging, but it's like having that. I'm curious because I always struggle with sometimes for English is not my first language too, right? So it's like you want to write from your heart. I don't want it
Yeah,
to be really rehearsed because I feel like
yeah,
when I do it in advance, it's longer relevant to where I am in life,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I don't know
Well,
if you feel this.
for sure. Like even the one that I shared yesterday, like yesterday I took a day off. I took a mental health day and my son had dental surgery. I didn't come up with it till honestly yesterday. I knew it was happening and I was like, what's the
Yeah,
lesson here?
yeah.
And honestly, like there was a lesson yesterday that I was really just not feeling well, that I need to talk a mental health day here. And interestingly, I also decided to run a mental health event next week on Bell Let's Talk Day. So I just tied it in as well. I think about
Yeah,
what can I tie it into there. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
is there any like structure to your day, or is it like any tip that you can share that maybe like do you work in blocks or they're just like fully booked days with clients?
Yeah, I do. So for me, Monday, Wednesdays are my coaching days. 10:30 to 5:30 are my coaching days. I have a lunch break in between. I have a max number of meetings. I'll take like 7 meetings, coaching meetings a day. And then between that 9 to 10:30 is my time. Workout, meditation, journal, write, getting ready,
Mhm.
tea. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Thursdays are my consultation call days. I used to do full days of it, and I don't like that because I don't like doing a full day of sales calls. I now
Yeah.
max it to 5 or 6 in 2-hour chunk time. So it's like
Mhm.
that time, and then I have that free time to do whatever. Like whether I run like a group coaching call, write a newsletter.
Mhm.
For me, it's so important to have buffer time for any last minute things. Sometimes I'll have a client, like last week I was really busy. I had like 3 or 4 clients like interview coaching. So I was working all weekend as well, coaching. So I need to have buffers for that as well.
Mhm. I love
And
it.
then
Thank you so much for sharing. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
my
Go ahead. And
pleasure.
Friday?
And then I was gonna say, like Fridays, I've always had Fridays off. This is the first year because of this live that I'm committing to this, but I've always had Fridays to me. And I think it's because since kids, I was like, I need a me time day where no kids, no one, no interruption, no clients emailing me, that I can just think and decompress. Because I believe if you do that, that's when you get new ideas and new inspiration.
Totally, I agree with you. My last comment would be, can I hire your husband as my efficiency coach? I'm like, he can build this whole side gig and a business on like how to like make this coaching gig.
Yeah. I'll talk to him. All right. Well, thank you so much, Anya.
Awesome. Thank
Talk to
you.
soon.
Thank you.
Bye
Ciao.
now. All right. So next up, I have Mina here.
Hello.
Hi, Mina. I know we're running a bit
How are
behind
you?
schedule here. I got like a line up here. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Diana, I just want to thank you for everything that you do. You are an inspiration. You are a motivation. You helped me through my own career change in 2016. I'm where I am today because I met you. So thank you to
Aw.
Sonal for introducing us. The universe has a way of putting lives in touch.
Oh,
So
thank you.
you continue to inspire and motivate with everything you put out in the world. And I just want to thank you for that. And I brought some champagne. Well, it's water. It's water. I'm sure it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world, but we'll get champagne later.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So excited to be here to celebrate this milestone with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
So what's one question you
yeah.
have?
Yeah, so the one question is, you've answered a lot of the questions I do have, but what is the one piece of advice that Diana did today would give Diana 10 years ago?
Ooh, that's a good one. Advice 10 years ago. Honestly, I would say it is about taking action. Taking action. It's to be willing to experiment and try out more. Like I feel like last year I really just tried out more new things because of just how the world has changed. And so if I think back, it is actually just doing more new things, experimenting more as well. And don't worry about failure. Like to me, like if, there's always a lesson from things that don't work out. So I'll give you an example. 2012, I ran 8 workshops with my friend Seema. She had 1, I had 7. Very ambitious. In 1.5 months, I would run all these workshops. And we booked it at Hyatt. I had to pay like $500-$600 per event for it. And I had 2 of them didn't get really any signups. It was like my 2 big interview training, workshop, I know how to cancel it. And that's okay. I learned from it. I learned, that's, I just need to scale it down to just have maybe do a few instead of doing like 8 series. And it's okay. I learned from it. I learned from those lessons. And then I think that there's certain things we have to make bets on in terms of when I call about like spending money on as well. Talking about like these events where you spend money on booking rooms and all that, or investing in technology to help you become more efficient. I really believe on that, even though it costs me money to do it. But if I can be more productive and more energized, to me, it's worth it.
Awesome. Great. And I remember when I was doing my training, my coach training, fail. The definition of fail is from all I learn. And when you were saying that examples, I was just like, yeah, what am I learning from this? So that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And progress over perfection. I remember that from our coaching.
Absolutely. Right. For those of you can relate, like getting a website out, it takes forever to get a website out, but you just have to like have it 80% done and get it out to the world and announce it. You don't need a complete website. Someone asked me yesterday, who pinged me, how many followers do I need before I can actually start my business? And I said, you don't need followers to start a business. Yeah. What you need is your idea and your passion and putting yourself out there to share with the world of your message and your offering.
Yeah, absolutely. Just do it. That's what my husband says. You don't need to have everything in place. Just go out, get clients. That's where you need to start.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, awesome. Mina.
You're welcome. Congratulations once again.
Take care. Bye now.
Take care.
All right. So next up, we have Ricklin. Come on here. Let's see. Where's Ricklin here? Hi, Ricklin.
Hi. How are you?
Good. So great to meet you. Finally, I get to meet like over screen and chatting on like LinkedIn.
I know. Congratulations. This is such a huge milestone for your business. And thanks for allowing us to celebrate this with you. And I've learned so much. I didn't expect to take away so much from this event.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad I decided to bring people on board. So it's not just me talking, but I can actually have this human connection, this energy here. It fills my heart.
Oh, good. Well, I do have, quite a few of my questions were answered because you provided a lot of information. And then some of the others asked similar questions as what I had. But one thing I'm curious about, you talked about pricing, and I totally understand the idea in terms of pricing based on value, et cetera. But one thing I'm still struggling with in my business is wanting to help everybody. And when people maybe can't afford my service, I still feel inclined to help. I know that's not going to be sustainable. So how did you work with the idea that some people you're just not going to be able to help?
Yeah, that's a great question. So to me, this is where you want to do an exercise on really understanding your ideal audience in terms of the peeps that you want to work with. And there's a couple ways of thinking about it. So what I've seen, it's saying having a niche where you think about either you specialize in particular industries or professions. For me, I don't have, let's say, a particular industry I specialize in. The way I think about it is the quality in terms of the characteristics of the people I want to work with. So I know I want to work with people who are ambitious, who are driven, high performers, who've already had like a track record of success or high potential talent. So I map that out. Like, what are those ideal qualities or traits of people you want to work with? And then map out what are the pain points of these people that you would like to help solving as well. Okay. So when I think about the people I work with, typically it's kind of almost sometimes they're similar to us as well, like that they've been laid off, they've laid off and not sure how to get a job, or they've been at the same company for a while and don't know how to sell themselves. So or they may look to start their own business. Those are the 3 different profiles of people. And then within that, then you'll think about like, what are those common pain points that they may have and how you would help them.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think what's really important, one thing here, so you offer writing service, right?
I do.
You offer writing service, and do you offer one-on-one coaching as well?
Yes.
One-on-one coaching. And for you, are you offering a combination of it, or you separate it?
I offer it all together, and that might be where I'm having a bit of a hang up.
Okay. You could have both if you want, but I think this is where, because writing is a lot of your time and energy as well. I think that's where going to be a lot of your time and energy. I think what you could think about is in terms of, if you offer everything's the package, in terms of package pricing as well. But I think one thing we want to think about maybe is within resumes, your expertise, is there something, let's say, that's like doesn't require you to write, but could still teach people on how to create a great resume and still guide them? That will save you time as well. So for me, I have a resume course. I don't do writing. I don't enjoy the writing. It's not me, but I can help people through my course, and then I give them feedback by recording my voice. I'll record it through Loom. My feedback, and they get 3 rounds of like reviews.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
So that could be something like to offer that they don't necessarily, you don't have to write it, but you can teach them how to do it.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that tip, and I'm going to look into implementing that very soon.
My pleasure.
Congratulations again to you, and you've inspired me to really dare to be different, and to show up on LinkedIn more. It was after watching your content really let me know, you know what, I have something to say too.
Amazing, absolutely. And I can't wait to have you on my show later on as well.
Yeah, I'm
excited. Share your story.
Well,
thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye. Oh, that was so good. So who's next? Oh, Simrat. My dear friend Simrat is coming on board here. Hi, Simrat.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
Hear you now. I think something was wrong with my headphones, so I'm not hearing headphones.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Oh my God. I got to give Simrat a shout out, guys. Simrat has also, oh, you guys got it. I love it. You got the
I'm always cheering you. You know that.
Yeah. Simrat, you've been so amazing as well. Like this past year since the pandemic, like you and I really bonded as well. Like you've really stepped up and helped my business with moderating my events and cheering people on. So I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you as well. And I just see so much potential in you. And I'm sure there's going to be opportunities for us to do more work together this year there.
And back at you, every word you said. I come here, I support you because I believe in you. I draw my energy from you, and I love every bit of it. It doesn't seem weird to me. And it's amazing.
Thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much. So what's one question you have for me?
Okay, well, I have 2, but I think you might have answered those questions. So I could flip it to actually a question right now that came to my mind because I had a great conversation yesterday and I was thinking of you throughout the conversation. So what would you advise to other business owners? Let me give you a quick case. So one of my friends, acquaintances, she ran her own business part-time for 6 to 7 years. Great idea. And she's a lawyer by profession. Now, she got laid off last year, and all these 6 years, she would always constantly think of, I wish I have more time to give to my business because she believes in it, etc. Now that she got more time, well, you all have your days, I'm assuming. However, there are days that she kills herself and feels demotivated because, of course, because it was part-time, it wasn't giving her the financials that her lawyer profession would give her, right? Mm-hmm. So she's constantly at crossroads where she's motivated one day and then a few days over a month where she would think, oh my God, shall I even grow this business? Like, is it going to give me that financial stability? She has kids and family and bills to pay. How do you tackle with those? Do you have those days? We've never talked about this, and it just me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Questions, but I think this is most relevant.
Yeah. So this is where I think it's important, and it's pretty classic. I think I see a lot of other business owners that I hear about. So to me, first is really getting clear on what are your revenue generating goals and offering. Mm-hmm. If you're not clear on that, then you're missing something that will help you have a target. So meaning just getting clear, what are the revenue generating activities that you need to do to help you get there? So even though, let's say you offer whatever service and all that, what do you need to do backwards? Or think backwards. Think backwards of what are the type of activities I need to do from a marketing, content creation standpoint to help me build my brand and credibility as well. That is really key because then that's how you're going to create that funnel, that pipeline as well. And then I think it's getting clear on even the other thing is like wondering, is this person talking to enough of your potential clients? I think that's really key. A lot of times when we're just starting, we're just thinking this is what I want to create, but are you talking to the people you want to serve? So for me, I'm constantly talking to them. I have consultation calls. Like last year, I used to do like a dozen to 20 of them. Even though limited time, but I did so many, like at least 200-300 of them last year that I got so much information of the pain points that people have. And that gave me insights of what I want to create there.
Interesting. I'm going to ask her to tune into this live chat and listen to this question because she doesn't know I asked her on her behalf. But
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing. What's your motivation mantra? How do you keep yourself motivated with those in those days? I'm sure you would have your, well, you're very motivated, but do you have
Yeah.
days where you think,
Oh, for sure. Yesterday, guys, I'm telling you, this week has been emotional, I'll tell you guys, because I think for me, it's because just reflecting the last 10 years, and even if you see my post, I've talked about my job loss story, I talked about my postpartum depression. My son had dental surgery yesterday. I've been working like also crazy as well. Like my energy definitely depleted. And yesterday I had to say this was my mental health day. And my husband's like, you need a day off. I'm like, oh yeah, I need a day off. And so I gave myself grace. Like honestly, part of it is also giving yourself grace that it's okay to take the day off. I had clients who messaged me and I try to get back to them and I told them I'm off today because, my son is with me, and people understand that. Right. And I think that, you want to be motivated, but at the same time, recognize if your energy or mindset is not there, that give yourself, like I took a half an hour nap yesterday after like, I just had to take a nap because I had a terrible headache.
oh, so then if you go back 10 years or whatever, what is one thing that you would change? I'm not putting you on the spot, so.
Change. I don't know if it's getting help sooner, but I think that if I think about where I'm at right now is I would really think more about the processes and scaling more as well in terms of being more systematic. But then again, to be honest, it's hard because I had kids. Like for me, I decided to also take a step back as well, like meaning not be as aggressive. And I was okay with that there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I'm wishing you luck, and I'm
Thank
here
you so
whenever you need me. But
I appreciate it. I really do. All right. We'll talk soon. You take care.
You take care too. Bye-bye now.
Oh my goodness. I love it. Oh my God. Such great questions. So next up we have Debbie and then Jennifer. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Diana. Nice to meet you again. I attended your networking event.
I remember, and I've been seeing you at my live events as well. You've been asking great questions. I was like, I want to also bring you on board for you to ask me a question here. So tell me, I think you have 1 or 2 questions here.
Yes. First, I want to say congratulations. Celebrating with you. Ever since I saw your first webinar on LinkedIn, you've set the standard for me. So now I'm spoiled when I go to webinars and they don't give the value that you give. I'm just like, my God, what would Diana do? You're definitely, as a new coach and entrepreneur, you're definitely my role model and the example.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I really appreciate it. And my question is about public speaking and speaking engagements. And you mentioned that your first one was actually a paid one with a professional association. So I was wondering how you got into those engagements. Is there a job posting board for speaking engagements? How does that work?
That's a good question. So how you get to speaking, and this is a pretty common one for those who want to be speakers. I wonder if any of you want to be a speaker. For me, I've always loved speaking and training. How I got that first one, it was actually through referral. So a lot of my speaking engagements were people who heard of me, who referred me, or found me on LinkedIn. And so this first one was someone who I just knew in my network and decided to refer me as their first keynote speaker there. So I didn't have to, I would say, pitch myself hard. I need to obviously put together value and why I was able to command the 5K speaking gig there. To me, what's really important is you need to have what I call your signature talks. So this is something I've learned from Brandon Bouchard. If you read his book, Millionaire Messenger, he talks about having a signature talk. So over 10 years ago, it was a decade ago, I already knew what my signature talk was, which is about differentiate as top talent. And so by having a signature talk, you then basically elevate your brand and credibility, and you have a framework and process to guide people through. And through that signature talk and framework, I then broke it into sub-talks. So meaning my first one around career clarity, then branding, then resumes and LinkedIn. So I broke it into sub-talks as well there. Right. So you need that signature talk first, and then you bring sub-talks. But back to even getting speaking gigs, I've done a lot of pro bono ones as well, and paid ones. The way I look at it, this is just my philosophy. Everyone is different. For me to do a pro bono gig, they need to be a nonprofit organization. Right. If they're a for-profit organization, corporate organization, I don't do pro bono there because I know they have the budget.
Right.
If they're nonprofit and they are my ideal audience, meaning people that I serve who are either like job seekers, that will say yes. And for me to do pro bono, one of my criteria is there needs to be like at least 100 people attending. That's just a criteria that I've set for myself there. I mean, if there's like 60, 70, I would probably consider as well. But you need to have a criteria, because otherwise you can do a lot of these speaking gigs that don't go back to revenue generating or lead generating there. But when you're first starting out, you're probably just trying to get exposure. You're trying to just try out new things. And that's totally fine, like starting off like local chapters, but you need to have your signature talk to help you practice more and more as well.
Oh, okay. So yeah, those are some key takeaways.
Yeah. And then the quick tip, I mean, this we could talk about later on as well, but pricing, I don't know if there's like a magic formula for it, to be honest, but you do need to know what your worth is. And the way I like to think about it is, you have to think beyond the time that you're showing up for the talk, meaning half an hour talk, 45 minutes talk. Your prep work is usually triple or quadruple the time. Okay. So you got to think from that term in terms of value. So for me to do a talk, I know usually I have to block off half of my day or my entire day to go do a talk, which to me, then what does that equate to from a dollar standpoint if I don't do coaching? Right. And that's how you have to think about your value or the price that you charge. It's not just the hourly rate that you're showing up for the event. It's everything else that you're doing. And also the what do you call it? The opportunity costs. Like if you're speaking, that means I'm not coaching. And what's that opportunity cost for me there?
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And thank you again so much.
My pleasure. Well, I look forward to like seeing you grow as well. This is an exciting journey for you because I know you're just starting out as well. And I remember hearing your story at my event, and I'd love to hear you more. And I want to congratulate you for finishing your videos as well. You had a daily video challenge, right?
The 30-day vlog challenge on LinkedIn.
Good for you. You did a 30-day video challenge. That's amazing. That's just stretching out of your comfort zone. You got to start somewhere. And as you continue to do more and more, you're going to get better and better as well.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. All right. You take care.
You too. Bye.
Oh, that was so fun. And next up, we got my friend Jennifer, who was here with me last week. Hi, Jennifer.
Hey.
Oh, what happened?
I feel like I should have gotten champagne. I have coffee, so cheers with coffee.
Cheers.
Because we all need more coffee. It's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
Well, thank you for having me
here. My pleasure. My pleasure. Oh my gosh, we just chat last week. I feel like, we've been like in touch every day already.
We're besties now. It's official.
I know. I love it. I love all your videos. I love how you make me laugh. And this is talking about branding, guys. Like what we're talking about in videos. I love that you have your own brand or style. Like you talked last week of how you love sarcasm, right? And love humor. And that's incorporated in your videos.
Yes, totally.
That's not really my style. Like it's hard for me to come up with those jokes that you have out or the humor, but you got to have your style. And that's what I love about it. And that's how you become more, we call it personable, or people like you to find your own tribe as well.
100%. No, and I mean, like everyone resonates with something so different, it's so personal. And, I think just like being you and putting yourself out there helps people find you that need you, if that makes any sense at all.
For sure.
But I'm super jazzed to ask you a question. So one question I have for you, obviously, I've been hanging out in the chat this whole time. This was such an awesome session. I loved your lessons learned. I took so many notes. And I know a bunch of people in the chat are also coaches, or they already have businesses. But I know that there's going to be people lurking that are watching this, trying to decide if they should make that leap. And, at least having a side hustle and all this stuff right now, it's so on trend for you. Now that you're 10 years into it and you're so far down the road, what do you for you, in your opinion, when do you think someone's ready to make that jump from employee into entrepreneur?
Oh, that's a good one. Readiness to make that jump. I think, so first of all, maybe my backtrack is around think about, is entrepreneurship right for you? Okay, before I make that, I talk about, is entrepreneurship right for you first? And when I think about, if you really want to go in the business of being an entrepreneur, self-employed, business owner, whether offering a product or service, and you want to really sustain, long term, I really believe a few qualities you need to have, and you got to ask yourself this, is one, you have to be very self-motivated and driven. Like being your own business, no one is going to tell you what to do.
You have no boss, which is a good thing, but it's a bad thing.
Right? No one's going to tell. So you have to be so self-driven and motivated. You got to be so pumped up, so jazzed about your business that you're constantly like want to think about it and how to grow. Right. So to me, that's number one. Like, are you really self-motivated and driven? And I would think the other ties into second is self-discipline. You have to be self-disciplined enough in terms of managing your time, managing your energy, managing your clients, managing business planning, administrative expense, all that stuff you have to do as well, even though you can outsource. But you, if you're on your own business, you have to think about that. Like I still do my own taxes. I have an accountant, but I still got to gather all that stuff together. I still do all that. I don't enjoy doing it, but I had to do it like once a year. That's number two. Number three is I think there is a level of uncertainty that you got to be able to embrace, meaning you got to embrace uncertainty. You're not going to have a certain, let's say, income month. It varies. It could vary, but you could do certain things to reach to that level of certain things you can do to reach to that certain level there and have that variation. So if you're someone who needs a lot of structure, a lot of certainty, entrepreneurship can be very hard. Like one of the common things I hear from people or why they quit is that they feel it's lonely after a few years or it's not sustainable. Right. And so I think for me, as much I love people as well, I also love my own time. I love doing my own creation work. I love brainstorming. I love that as well. So you also, I think, need to be okay with being lonely or doing your own thing as well. And there's a right time where you want to do collaborations there. Such a good question. And so then the question back to the readiness to make that jump. Oh, I think, so it's interesting for me, like I mentioned earlier was I started because I lost my job but I had a plan. I was going to do it 7 or 8 months later. And so I think from a readiness standpoint, a few things you want to look at, like this is from a practicality standpoint, is you got to look at your finances. If you have a spouse, you want to discuss with them, like in terms of the risk involved, like how long can you really sustain it for? Like what's the worst case scenario here? Right. So for me, I knew that we would be okay if I don't make any money the first year. So that gave me that confidence there. The other, I think, is for those who are coaches. I do believe, and I think about Lena, who was here on board. If you're looking to get coaching, I think that it's important to get maybe some sort of either training or some sort of your own offer and what that looks like to prepare yourself, to give yourself that confidence as well. And for those who are doing a side hustle, you got to test it out. Like to me, I think you got to test out your product or program and get to a certain level that you feel comfortable to quit your full-time job, essentially. And, I think about, you just remind me of someone like Austin Balsack, like he's full-time job, I think for 5 years running his cultivated culture, and he quit last year to run it full-time. Right. Yeah. And I'm sure it's because he got it to a certain level. Like he says, a huge, massive following for him to decide to do that. However, you don't need to also get to that certain level to quit. Mm-hmm. What's more important is what are you going to do, the activities you're going to do to really drive growth, like in sales, right? And when I think about growth, it's either you either increase customers or you increase price or increase your value.
Right. Or both.
Yeah. Right. And so what's interesting for me, as you're talking about this right now, I'm experiencing, so I've always been on more the, I know my offering or pricing has been considered on the higher end of that. That's just how I decided to brand myself. And what I started doing this past week, and I'll just share with this, like my audience as well, like this week, because my 10 years, I decided to do something really crazy and ridiculous. I sent to my list that, hey, it's my 10 years and I'm going to offer my glowing introduction course for only $10.
No.
$10.
Oh my goodness. It must have been flying off the shelf.
And I was so surprised how many people signed up for it. And I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? Like, I knew less. I wrote to my husband last night. Like, why didn't I do this sooner? I've been selling all this like one-on-one service. Why didn't I start selling these courses that I'm creating? I sold it for $10 and people are still buying it, like even today.
That's awesome.
And it's going to expire tonight. I said, it's going to expire tonight. You got the next 4 days. And I'm like, oh, these are the new things you could try, right? Someone asking like having that low end or a bit higher end offer, like this is a great sampler to my work.
That's awesome. And I love that, it makes it accessible, but then like for the people that aren't sure if you're the coach for them, it really helps guide them into realizing that you are, or you aren't, but probably that you are.
Exactly. And something I'm noticing, because with the pandemic and knowing people have a lot of things going on right now, what I'm noticing is, I think, is creating more bite-sized manageable things, like bite-sized manageable deliverables that they can tackle, they can achieve. So for example, this glowing introduction course, the deliverable is by the end of the course, they'll be able to write their elevator pitch.
Awesome.
It's so bite-sized. I don't cover all the details of job search, but it's like you get this elevator pitch, you learn how to be confident, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what people are looking for now, something that's bite-sized that they can also achieve there.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, elevator pitch, you need that in so many like places in your job search too. So it's also incredible value.
Yeah, for sure. Any other? You're my last guesser. I'm curious if those of you are like, you guys have any questions? This is so fun.
I'll ask you another question while everyone else is like tapping it in. Now, I mean, like a lot of like you've shared so much. And the other thing I was curious, because like I'm like 2 years into mine, you're 10 years. So you're like 5x me right now. And I'm curious, like for you at this like huge milestone in your business and being an entrepreneur for 10 years, like what about your life? What about yourself is true today that you don't think would have been true if you hadn't have taken this journey?
Oh, such a good question. I love it. Honestly, I feel more fulfilled, more confident, and really doing. I get to create. I get to create what I want as well. So if I think back, had I not take down that path, made that jump when I lost my job, yeah, it would have been so different. And I noticed even the last several years, as I've been doing more speaking, I've been a lot more confident. And I don't know what it is, but even just stepping this 10-year, it's like I've really learned to let go of any stuff that you've had or baggage you had to say, right? To just let go of that so that you can really step into your own greatness as well. And this is why I believe like even having this business, for me, it's also a personal growth journey, not just about growing from a revenue standpoint, but from a growth of my personal standpoint as well, and my confidence. And I was telling my husband the other day, I feel like, with everything that's going on in the world and even having like 2 young kids, I feel like my business is what I have control over, what I get to create or be creative.
Right.
Or that I get to be, the artist where you can just create stuff and have fun with it.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Right. So that's what I love about it. That's what makes it joyful for me. And I think about from an innovation standpoint is where I'm heading now. Is I want to go beyond job search. I want to talk about confidence. I want to talk about soft skills, leadership, how we can do, better, good things in the world, the kindness. Like these are things that I want to talk more about as I move forward as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering my cues.
My pleasure. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I'll see you later, Jennifer. Oh my goodness, guys. I hope this was so fun. Like this was so fun for me. Like I hope you guys enjoy this. I just love just seeing like my friends here as well. And I see a lot of you guys here who are like participated, like Eva, who else? There's a Fezler who's here. I really appreciate you guys. Jennifer, Shaq, I really appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoy this. And I'm going to continue to bring on new things this year. Like this is part of me stretching in my comfort zone as I continue to evolve and grow, and to really, for me at the end of the day, it's making a bigger impact in this world there. So please stay in touch, and please click a like. Feel free to share this as well. I would love to hear from you. And for those who are growing their business, I want to wish you all the best. There are definitely a lot of opportunities. Like even though I got there's problems and obstacles, but there's I got to turn problems into possibilities, turn obstacles into opportunities. Okay. Go make your dreams come true. Go show up. I love some of my cards that I have here that I always refer back to is, I show up for myself in the world. When I shine bright, I give others permission to shine with me. And my presence is my power. So remind yourself that right? Of how we all could do little things to make a difference in this world. And so like next week, I'm running a live series on Thursday, 11 to 1. It's Bell Let's Talk Day. And I'm bringing on some guest speakers to talk about their stories, about their struggles, and talk about mental health, anxiety, depression, how to deal with that, because I know a lot of us are also struggling as well. So I'm going to have some real talk conversations next Thursday. It's my special edition there on Thursday. And then next Friday, I have my other guest speaker, Tiffany Uman, who works at L'Oreal, Senior Marketing Director, who will come also talk to me about her career advancement journey and how to really differentiate as top talent to advance your career. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. All right, take care. Cheers.